Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. This is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. I am your host, Sean McGahee, and it is a very special episode because today we welcome back an old friend of ours. Everyone, Mr. Joshua Del Angel.
Hey, the retired veteran has returned.
That's right, that's right. He came to grace us with his presence. Lisa couldn't do it this week. She's working today. So I asked Josh to come back and guest star on this episode. And he agreed and was actually, well, he was a little late, but he was pretty much on time.
This is on time for Josh, right?
For Josh, exactly.
10 minutes late, on time.
Exactly.
Like a wizard.
Like a wizard.
I think I got that wrong.
What is it? Like something like... he arrives precisely when he intends to, I believe, if the Lord of the Rings line is correct.
Yes.
So, in any event here, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. I was in the middle of reviewing the notes when Josh came in, so it might be a little haphazard today, but we'll power through, and you'll get the same shit show you usually get, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
In that instance. A lot of stuff went down this last week. A lot of release dates that we're going to talk about, too. But first, I would be reluctant to start off the show without saying that it is May and it is officially summer movie season. Now, back in the day, between May and August, you got your summer movies, your blockbusters, but nowadays it's really not that mindset or frame anymore because you're getting these highly anticipated movies that don't just come out in summer. Of course, we're getting Star Wars during Christmas time.
Seems to be the thing.
This year we got Logan in March. Last year we got Batman v Superman in March. And then a couple years ago we got Captain America Winter Soldier back in April, which I think kind of started it. So they're not only just coming out in summer anymore, they're coming out all over the place, which happens. It's just the way it's going to go. But summer movies, it's the time when people go see the movies a lot, so you get a lot of blockbusters. Starting off this week, we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 coming out.
Yeah.
Next week, I'm going to go see that new King Arthur movie by Guy Ritchie.
Good.
Then we got Alien Covenant the week after that. And honestly, after that week, I'm going to go see Baywatch.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And the more I see that movie, the more funny it looks, man, with Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron. Plus, I used to watch the Baywatch show when I was little, too. My life plan, my backup plan in life was to always be a lifeguard if, I'll turn to crap.
I only knew about Baywatch through Friends, to be honest with you.
Oh, yes, because they used to watch Friends.
I watch it in slow motion or...
Yeah,
man. That's actually a good point. I'm actually looking forward to that too. That looks like
and then, hilarious. Of course, the first week of June, the second day of June, we got Wonder Woman. Less than a month before Wonder Woman comes out.
Is it bad that I'm kind of more amped to see Baywatch than I am Wonder Woman at this point?
It is a little bit, man. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd say I'm a little nervous. I'm a little excited.
Nervous.
But, whatever it may come, we'll watch it.
I think a Justice League if this movie's bad.
No, Justice League has already been shot. We might not get another movie. Like, Aquaman actually starts shooting. That's the only other DC movie right now, besides Justice League, that's in production. So, they may halt everything else, but at least we're going to get Justice League, I think, at the very least. In that instance. So, but in any event, guys, for those of you who don't know how, just to let you know how we go through it a little bit, start off with some Marvel and DC news, move on to Star Wars, miscellaneous. You guys fire back on the Facebook group, on Twitter, or on the Gmail account, dayspringdiscussing@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. So, to officially start the show, we're going to start off with a little bit of Marvel news. Now, as I said, this week we get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 comes out. Josh and I already have our tickets. We're planning on seeing it Thursday night. So based on promotional material and everything you've seen, how amped are you for this movie, Josh?
I am more amped for this film than I was the original. I didn't know much about the original, besides the books that you'd given me a month before.
Yeah, to read.
And I gotta admit, man, I vaguely remember the first one now. I've only seen it twice in total.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I gotta see it again. That's what I'm hoping I can see it tonight. And but for some reason, the second one, man, I'm excited about. Honestly, I'm kind of interested in Batista's character and how he's developing Drax, man, and seeing more of his character develop. And of course, you got the stud star,
Chris Pratt. Yep. You got him everywhere, man. That's kind of what pulled me into the movie. Chris Pratt, he's got that presence. Great in that, great in Jurassic World, which we'll talk a little bit more about here in a bit. I was one of those guys where, when Marvel Studios announced they were doing Guardians of the Galaxy, everyone else was like, Really? Guardians of the Galaxy? It was an unknown property. I knew the name, I knew Rocket Raccoon, but I never read Guardians of the Galaxy. So then I actually kind of dove into it and studied it a little bit to get myself ready for the movie. By the time the movie came out, I had read several graphic novels, and I was psyched for it because I loved what I read. I was on board for this film. The film was great. Some people criticized it, though, because they feel like that's the start of when Marvel started to be very jokey and very formulaic in their movies. I disagree. I think it's very unique, and maybe Marvel has tried to follow a little that formula after after Guardians of the Galaxy, only because it worked so well. They literally
they had to adapt
exactly.
Bit and add it to their formula.
I mean, this wasn't like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, who people knew. This was Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew these characters, and it turned into this huge hit.
Isn't that why you cast Chris Pratt?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's kind of, if you get a lesser known property, you want to get the star power behind it.
Right.
Is what it is. So,
well, and in his style of acting too, it's hilarious.
It fit
his
perfect
timing
for the
is
character.
Perfect. Yeah, and then he's an action star.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, because of not only what I've read in the comics, but also Chris Pratt. I mean, Star-Lord has become one of my favorite Marvel characters now, especially the new Solo series they have going on right now. I think I talked to you about it, where in this new Solo series, he basically gets in trouble on Earth, and he's sentenced to probation or public service, to where he's stuck on Earth. And granted, remember, he was taken when he was a kid off of Earth, like during the 80s.
No idea.
So he's like a fish out of water being back on Earth again, and it's just hilarious to see that. So if you guys haven't checked out the new Star-Lord series, that I think they're on issue like 6 or 7, that's pretty good. I definitely recommend checking that out. So speaking of the actual story, Chris Pratt, of course, going around promoting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and he spoke with Slash Film, about future Marvel movies and wanting to be involved in Marvel past his contract, saying, quote, "I'll tell you, as much as I love Marvel, it doesn't matter how many films I have contracted, because I'm going to continue to work with them." When asked directly if he would work beyond his contract, he said, quote, "Totally, dude. I want to. I love working with them. I'm going to continue to work with them whether they like it or not. Even if they write me out, I'm going to show up on set and be like, hey, man, they're done. They don't get to shake me." He's just great. I love everything he does. It's so awesome. I recommend you go and check it out. I forget it's a British radio show that does this, where like there's a new movie coming out. They take the star and they have to call up a business. And they have to go through the entire alphabet, starting with the letter. So, like, when the first sentence, they start off like, and I want to do this because you did this. Okay. Can you, do that? And he calls, like, some random business, and, like a prank phone call. It's pretty hilarious. There's one with Chris Pratt on YouTube, but definitely check it out. But Pratt's going on. Obviously, we haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 yet, so we really can't say... we want more, whatever.
Where's it going to go from here?
Exactly. But we do know Guardians has a role in Avengers as well, because there was a little behind-the-set featurette of Avengers Infinity War, and you saw Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, and Chris Pratt standing there. So we know that the Guardians have some presence in the next Avengers film. But I would say, just based on what I know of Chris Pratt and Guardians of the Galaxy, and again, like I said, that Solo series that I'm enjoying as well, he can play Star-Lord as long as he wants.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just can't help but think of losing Logan, losing Hugh Jackman this year, and thinking what the future holds for us and our stars here.
Yeah,
man.
We talked about X-Men last week, man, and it's just, they're going to have a point, too, where people are saying as well, because for the other...
When are we going to lose Robert Downey?
Exactly.
When are we going to lose
Captain
America?
That fourth Avengers film, that's the end of Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth. The people who started, the first Avengers film, the Phase 1, that's when their contracts are up, whether they'll renew it. Chris Evans says he's interested in playing Captain America as long as he can. Chris Pratt looks like he wants to play Star-Lord. So we'll wait and see. But I'm definitely on board for as much Chris Pratt right now as I can think of. Man, again, he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World, the Lego Movie. I mean, I didn't see Passengers. Did you see Passengers?
No.
I haven't seen that yet, but I heard it's whatever.
It was mediocre.
But in any event, there's something I saw last month. There was like, you may be cool, but you're never be Chris Pratt cool, because he's the only person who has 3 Lego characters. He's got his Lego character Emmett. He's got Star-Lord. He's got his character from Jurassic World. All 3 Lego characters based off of him.
Boom! I wonder if he has them collected at his house.
Oh, I'm
somewhere.
sure he does. I'm sure he. Of course, he got them for free. That's what it was.
Obviously, yeah.
So, anyway.
Hey, so on Guardians, is Lisa excited to see Groot, like baby Groot?
Oh, she loves Baby Groot. Every time she saw that, she's like, "Oh, it's Baby Groot."
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking.
Is Amber excited to see it?
She is. I told her last week. She's stoked for it. She's the one that recommended we watch Guardians.
We watch it. Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing to get amped for it. Yeah.
I think she will not fall asleep through this Marvel movie.
Let's hope so. We're doing it early. You know, it's 7:00, so she shouldn't have to fall asleep. And we'll see. Like I said, hopefully, maybe you can get out of work early. I'm gonna go have a couple drinks beforehand. So hopefully you guys can meet us there beforehand for a few pints.
Best way to keep her awake, man, is a shot of tequila and a cider.
I will do. Hey, now that you said it, it's on me. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it as far as Marvel news actually that we have. So we're gonna move it. Oh no, my bad. I take that back. We have one more story. Thank you very much here.
Man.
I know.
I'm a special guest
I told you it's a shit show here today. Okay. Sony's untitled animated Spider-Man film has moved its release date. Originally, it was said to come out December 21st. It has moved up a week to December 14th. The film is going to see the fan favorite Miles Morales in a title role, which is said to have a, quote, throwback vibe. Now, writer Phil Lord promised the fans of Spider-Man can be rest assured knowing that the yet untitled animated feature will not feel like any other Spider-Man movie they've seen. The character of Miles Morales was created in 2011 by Brian Michael Bendis for Marvel's Ultimate line of comics. Miles assumed the identity of Spider-Man after the death of that universe's Peter Parker, and then later jumped over into the actual Marvel Universe in 2015 and has joined the team of the Champions as well. Now, the film is said to have actor Shameik Moore do the voice of Miles Morales, and Liev Schreiber, Marvel alumni, is set to be part of it as do a voice of a yet untitled villain. Now, the film is going to be co-directed, by Bob Persichetti and Peter Ramsey. Persichetti did the film The Little Prince, and Ramsey did the film Rise of the Guardians. And it's going to be produced and written by the duo team of Phil Lord, Chris Miller, who brought us such films as 21 Jump Street, The Lego Movie, and are directing the Han Solo spin-off film for Lucasfilm.
Nice
the release date's moved up a little bit. I'm going to say this right now. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I think all these release dates that are shifting and coming out that we're going to talk about, all has to do with the fact that Star Wars Episode 9 has shifted their release date. They've kind of backed off that December release date, and now all the other films that have something they think is good or potentially good are going to, vulture in on that December release date.
Okay.
Them moving this up a week ahead, it's not that big a deal. It's only 1 week. But maybe December 14th, I think they'll try to grab some of those kids coming out. Basically, instead of getting right before Christmas, they're going to try to grab that entire Christmas vacation, is what I'm thinking about.
Word.
So, you don't know anything about Miles Morales, right? You're not familiar with the character at all. So the character, I think you might actually enjoy him. I've read, several of the graphic novels. I don't know a lot about him, but he is actually very similar to Peter Parker. Got bitten by the spider, yada yada. But he's actually a black Puerto Rican mix. So it's an ethnic Spider-Man, which a lot of people are excited about.
Just because I'm ethnic, Sean, you think I'm going to love him?
I'm just saying, man. You people are always clamoring for more ethnicity, okay?
Whoa. You people. What do you mean, you people?
You people, exactly,
Man, you know what comes to mind? I was reading these notes, and Liev Schreiber, man, when you mentioned that name, that's your villain right there, dude. That's your villain. So I'm excited. That makes me excited about
watching this. He was one of the good things about Wolverine Origins,
Yeah, and he's just a great overall. I think he's a very underrated actor. He's a great villain in most of the films. He's a great, for asshole. He's a great, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that might impact.
Have you ever seen the Ray Donovan? I haven't checked that out yet.
I've seen
I heard it's really good.
Too, yeah.
I heard it's really good.
Grandma's really
But also, the thing that gets me excited about this film is the director. So I saw The Little Prince, which is pretty decent, but I love Rise of the Guardians. That film, they've seen that one? It's the one with Santa and the Easter Bunny and Jack Frost, and they fight the Boogeyman.
No,
my god, dude, it's so good. Like, it's great.
It's anime?
Yeah, it's anime. So it's based off a series of children's books or whatever, and they take a spin on Santa and all that stuff, Sandman, all that jazz. It's super good. I mean, I definitely recommend it if you have not checked it out. It's basically taking these, characters like the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, and giving them also a superhero spin.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
A mythology to
it's
them as
it's
well.
super cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's got me excited about it. So that moved up a week. And we'll wait to see how later. I was at least I were talking about this too as well. He's questioning how well the film's going to do because it is an animated film, but it's a superhero animated film, and honestly, we haven't had a superhero animated film since '90s Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. Not a worldwide release.
Oh, okay.
Like you've had special screenings, like
Killing Joke.
the Killing Joke and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is going to be out for several weeks in theaters. Is what it is. And animated superhero films in the past have not done well. Now, I'm under the impression the fact that Spider-Man is such a beloved character, it will do well. Plus the fact that we're in such the age of superheroes, I think it's going to do well. Lisa's not so sure about it. Where do you fall on it?
I feel like people who attend movie theaters automatically want a dark film. I mean, The Master of Phantasm did pretty well.
Oh, it's a great film, yeah.
But it was a dark film. It was a dark anime, and I don't know if the subject matter it's Spider-Man, so it's very good. It's gonna be lighthearted. You're gonna have a villain. It's gonna be a classic superhero story. I hope that is enough. You know what I hope? I hope that they're feeding off of the momentum of Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, which I think will be good.
And if you release this then, I think it will do well, but I think it needs to have a serious take on it. I think it can't be too lighthearted.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll make much money unless you're making it a little bit more snittious.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. All right, guys. Well, that's it as far as Marvel news, and I got one piece of DC news we're going to talk about here before we move on to what I consider the big story. Warner Brothers is going all in on its new digital platform they're going to be releasing in 2018 because they've announced 2 shows for this digital platform already. One of them is a live-action version of called Titans, which is based on the DC Comics property, Teen Titans. It's going to be produced and written by Jeff Johns, the DC Chief Creative Officer, and Greg Berlanti, the man responsible for the CW shows such as Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. So this one, so it said that the Titans show has actually been on the back burner for a while. Back in 2014, it was said to be in development at TNT, but then it got put on the back burner. Johns pledged in 2015 that DC still had plans for the project. Titans is billed as an action-adventure based on the enduring DC Comics franchise and will feature such characters as Dick Grayson, presumably as Nightwing, Starfire, and Raven. Now, the other show we're getting on this new platform, the one I'm excited for, is Season 3 of the animated series Young Justice, titled Young Justice Outsiders. Now, the original series aired for 2 seasons from 2011 to 2013 on Cartoon Network, before ending with the Epic Invasion storyline. Now, for a while, fans and creators have been clamoring for the next season in some way or another, and it was announced several months ago that we are indeed getting a Season 3, and then now they just announced Justice League Outsiders on this platforms. So in this Season 3, or Outsiders season, we find the teen heroes facing their greatest challenge as they fight metahuman trafficking and the terrifying threat it creates for a society caught in the crossfires of a genetic arms race spanning the globe and the galaxy. Now, this new DC platform will be the second major service launched by Warner Brothers Digital Network Group following Boomerang. Warner Brothers TV describes the new service as an immersive experience designed just for DC fans. Now, they already have, I know, the CW Seed, which you can watch episodes of the Constantine series that was out on NBC, and the animated series Vixen, which is part of the Greg Berlanti Flash Arrow universe. I've seen that. It's actually pretty decent. I like it. But this is going to be another digital platform. I'm curious to see what all they're going to put. I would love to see them put stuff like, Smallville or like Batman animated series or something like that on it. Would be pretty cool. I mean, literally, if you put all the DC like shows that have come out, even like Adam West Batman or something like that, I might actually pay if I could for that.
Yeah.
If I can get all my old DC animated series and live action series on one platform, I might be willing to pay like a monthly fee for something like that.
You would?
To be honest, yeah. Especially if they produce new content as well.
Yeah, release it to that. I mean,
a lot of stations are doing that now. Like CBS is making their own one. They're releasing the new Star Trek one on that. You can only watch that Star Trek series on the CBS digital platform coming out too.
What's that about? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to show the first episode on CBS, and
entirely new series.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're hoping they're going to take that and have people interested enough to sign up for the CBS digital service is what they're hoping. So I don't know how it's going to go. I wouldn't follow it, but we'll see how it goes. But let's talk about these shows, okay? So started off Titans. It's been talked about for a while. A live action Teen Titans. Well, they're not calling it Teen Titans because it is Titans. There's a comic book called Titans where the original Teen Titans are grown-ups now. Like Dick Grayson isn't Robin, he's Nightwing. Kid Flash, Wally West isn't Kid Flash, he's Flash. Stuff like that. So what I'm curious about, I guess, when this first came up was, it's been talked about for a while, but now we're getting rumors of a Nightwing movie coming out. Okay, so much like how we're going to have two Barry Allens, one in the movies, one on TV, do you think we're going to have two Dick Graysons?
I think it's very, very much a possibility. I think I can see them being more willing to do that with that character, Dick Grayson, as opposed to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Well, it'd be funny too if they got you got that character, but two different. Like, say you got Robin in the movies and Nightwing in the TV series. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. But yeah, Titans, especially if it's written by Jeff Johns, because Jeff Johns, when he wrote Teen Titans, is what I first got introduced to Johns. And I loved it. I have the whole collection of John's Teen Titans down there on my bookshelf. My first experience with Jeff Johns, yeah. First one is what got me into Johns, and from there I just followed him, whatever he writes, and it's been great since then. But yeah, I'm excited for it. But of course, the one I'm super excited for is Young Justice Outsiders. I love the first two seasons of that. It's on. I think it's still on Netflix. You can still watch it. You got to get through a couple of like the kiddie-ish episodes in the first season, but if you can get to the end of that first season, season 2 is just way above better. I mean, I put it up there with Batman animated series, Justice League animated series,
really?
X-Men animated series. Yeah,
bold statement.
I put it up there. I put it up there. It's one of my top 5 animated superhero shows.
I'm gonna put that on my list of things to watch.
I told you to watch it. You started it, didn't you?
Yeah, I started
Justice,
it.
Yeah.
I'm a late night watcher, man. I gotta wait till everybody's asleep in the house, and then I can.
That's what I do.
I can geek out.
That's what I do. Yeah. I totally understand that. I gotta wait till when Nora and Lisa go to sleep. That's when I watch all my stuff too.
Yeah.
So not a problem there. But yeah, I'm super excited. The digital platform. I'm curious to see what other plans they have for it. But again, I'm curious to see how the Titans develop, and I'm super excited for Young Justice Outsiders because I love the first 2 seasons. If you haven't watched it, guys, go on Netflix. If you want to borrow it, I have the DVDs as well. So there is that. Anything else you want to add as far as DC news?
No, not at all.
Okay,
no.
Fair enough. All right, guys, so we're going to move on next to Star Wars. Yes, that is right. Big announcement came this week. Lucasfilm has come out in association with Disney and said that Star Wars Episode 9 is scheduled for a release date of May 24th, 2019. Now, the reason this is kind of a big deal is because ever since we had this resurgence of Star Wars, starting with The Force Awakens, Star Wars has become December movies. You had The Force Awakens in December. Last year we had Rogue One. And then this year we're getting Episode 8, The Last Jedi, in December as well. But they've already announced that in next summer we're getting the Han Solo spin-off films. And now they've announced this one as well, going back to May 2. So starting with Han Solo, we're thinking this is going to be Star Wars return to a May release date, which is what all the other Star Wars movies have been. Episodes 1 through 6 have all been released in May. Force Awakens was the first one that came out in December. Now this has got a lot of debate going on because when Force Awakens came out in December, it crushed it.
Yeah.
Crushed it. Let's see here. I know domestically it's number 2 behind Avatar. Worldwide, it almost beat Titanic for the number 2 spot, but it just fell a little short. So worldwide, overall, you have Avatar, Titanic, and then Force Awakens. Rogue One, while not doing as good as Force Awakens, still hit over $1 billion and did great.
Wow.
So people have thought that was going to be Star Wars for Christmas. Every year we're getting a Star Wars movie for Christmas. All right.
Yeah.
And now they're moving back to May, which have some people worried because of all the competition now in the summer blockbuster season.
You're talking about Episode 9. I mean, I can't help but relate it to a little bit of Return of the Jedi. I love Return of the Jedi, but Return of the Jedi didn't make as much money as
I'm not sure how much money
as
it
the rest
made.
of the films. I
Yeah.
feel like it was probably the least grossing film from what I remember.
I'm not
So
sure.
I think May will hurt them. I think May. I mean, you had the hype behind December. You had
Yeah.
Christmas. It's Christmas. Star Wars
Yeah.
in December. So I think it will hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, but you gotta think about it too, okay? Star Wars is a juggernaut. So if anyone says, okay, we're gonna release a movie. Wait, when's Star Wars coming out? Okay, let's get as far away from that as we can.
Yeah.
So I think in doing this,
It's still Star Wars.
it's going to shake a couple people to get out of the way of Star Wars. But I forget exactly what it is. I think it's 2 weeks before or 2 weeks later, we get Avengers Infinity War.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Ooh.
that's gonna. I think they're both gonna cut into each other's profits, but
A showdown.
but look at it like this: they're both Disney films. So
Oh.
Disney's like, I don't care. Disney gets the profits, whatever. You know, it's Marvel Studios and Lucasfilm. They're gonna be slugging
You
it
get a
out.
slice of pizza. You
But-
get a slice of pizza.
Exactly. Disney's
Yeah.
like, I don't care. It's all money
Yeah.
in that event. So and again, I'm just curious why they move so close to another Disney property. I mean, Disney pretty much just owns it all anyway. But speaking of that, jumping off that just a little bit, there are a couple announcements by Disney too. First off, we got announcements for Frozen 2, which I know you're super excited about.
So pumped.
So excited. The thing about that, I was curious, was that the fact that they're going to be so far away from the original. It's coming out on 2019 November,
Wow.
which that's going to be what, like 8
Three.
years or
Is
so?
it?
And
Wow.
what is it, maybe, I want to say 6 years at least since the original Frozen, which I feel is quite a long time. You got Toy Story 4 coming out June 1st, 2019. That'd be cool. Let's see here. Captain Marvel, March 8th, 2019. The fourth Avengers film, May 3rd, 2019. And then another big announcement was that the next Indiana Jones film is set for July 10th, 2020. Not a lot is known about that. Just so we know that Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford are both coming back. People are speculating or kind of hoping that it's going to be kind of more of a passing of the torch, where you get old Harrison Ford as Indy, get a flashback of a young Indy, a different actor, and then for the next Indiana Jones film, that young actor will then take on the series, perhaps.
Oh, so we're not getting a new Indiana Jones.
Well, yeah, it's Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford. People are speculating. I mean, Harrison Ford, by the time this movie comes out, Harrison Ford's going to be 78. So, is he going to be jumping around with a bullwhip at that age? I mean, he got hurt. He's got several plane crashes. He got hurt on the set of Episode 7, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we want Harrison Ford to live on and on and on, he's not going to. He's getting up there in age. He can't do the action-adventure, fight the Nazi stuff anymore as well as he used to.
So my question is, do you get a prequel stories? Do you get like a journey, or do you get a new
like kind of
Indiana Jones?
how they tried to do with Crystal Skulls with Shia LaBeouf, where they had his son take over and
ended up being a brat and ended up
exactly. I think we all could always say hopefully they do the modern take where we can just forget about the bad movie and remember the good movies.
Let's go the X-Men route. Let's go the X-Men route.
Like with what they're doing with Alien. The Alien franchise now, the Alien and Aliens and Prometheus count. Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection do not count.
Yep.
So let's
do
do
timeline.
Let's do that, exactly. So the first 3 Indiana Jones films count, but Crystal Skull we can just forget ever happened.
Yeah.
Possibly. That'd be good. But yeah, so again, going back to Star Wars, some people are also speculating this might be a way of now releasing 2 Star Wars movies a year. Get a anthology or a spin-off film and an episode film.
And they feed into the main story.
Could be possible. I don't want that, honestly. I think keeping it with 1 a year is fine. And then, of course, Lucasfilm has yet to announce anything past Episode 9. We don't know if we're getting Episode 10. We thought we were getting another spin-off film, but they haven't announced anything on that yet. So people are curious, because there's been talks now as well that after Episode 9 and the third spin-off film, they may actually take a little break from the movies for a little while. Because they're talking about several new TV series coming out, focusing more on TV than the actual movies and stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a break from the episode films for like a couple of years. Because it used to be, even with the prequel movies, we got one every 3 years. One every year, I love as a Star Wars fan, definitely. But also the anticipation could build a little more too with taking a little break. But I mean, right now we're in the golden age of Star Wars, much like we're in the golden age of superheroes. We're getting so much Star Wars content between books, movies, all that stuff. It's when I was growing up, you had no Star Wars at all until '99. You got the Phantom Menace, and then you got the prequels, which some people wish never came. You got the Clone Wars, which again some people aren't a big fan of. And so after Revenge of the Sith, we thought, okay, there's no more Star Wars movies coming out. Then they announced Disney bought Lucasfilm, and we got this plethora of Star Wars content we're now getting, which is great. Some people think at some point, though, we might get oversaturated. Do you think that time will ever come?
Man, that's smart. Yeah, I think it's very much. I think we're very much capable of oversaturating it, and that's a very smart statement. Well, there. I'm impressed. That's like I think we can get too much Star Wars, man. I think we can get too much, and it becomes like a piggy bank. They're spitting out this product here just to make money, and we don't want that.
Well, that's what anybody does anything for. Hello.
But no, there's an art behind it at the same time though. It's a balance between making money and also making great films. And
there is a balance, of course, but I mean, I will go to show you this.
Nobody's gonna go see a shitty film.
Well. Did you see Fate of the Furious? Because a lot of people did. And from what I heard, it's the shittiest film of the year.
Touche.
Okay.
Touche.
Trust me. Hello. Amazing Spider-Man 2, Batman v Superman, any of the last Transformer movies.
They all make people went and bought tickets to those movies.
Exactly. People pay to see shitty movies all the time. In any event, though, it's just, we got a lot of Star Wars going on, which I love. Growing up a Star Wars fan, I love all the content we're getting. But, I think it's something said to, Kathleen Kennedy has said almost that she wants to keep that hunger alive.
Yeah.
And if you put out too much, the hunger kind of goes away. So maybe taking a break a little while. Plus, maybe the fact that they haven't thought of any other ideas, too. Maybe the reason we haven't got an announcement for an episode 10, 11, 12, or whatever is because they're not sure what they want to do yet. And I'd rather them, again, take their time, think of a good story idea, but instead of, like you said, just, putting something out to make some money.
Yeah, I'm down the assembly line.
And, again, there's plenty of other Star Wars stuff to come.
You can almost take after Harry Potter and what they're doing with that industry there. I mean, you had your films, your Harry Potter story. They took a break. They're slowly coming out. They had Fantastic Beasts last year.
They got a bunch of movies coming out, spin-off films. They're calling it like, Lisa and I were talking about this last week because we were talking about Jude Law being cast as young Dumbledore for the Fantastic Beasts films. Oh, wow. Yeah, you know that? See? There you go. You should come on the show more often.
What?
But no, this in Fantastic
Jude
Beasts.
Law?
In the Fantastic Beasts now, it says Wizarding World, Fantastic Beasts, and where to find them. So now I don't think we're going by the Harry Potter theme anymore because they said they want to make 5 more movies. I think they're all going to be like subtitled Wizarding World something, much like you have Star Wars Force Awakens, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Gotcha.
I think it's going to be Wizarding World, etc., etc.
Cool.
Is how it's going. I think that's how it's going to be with that. But yeah, that's going to be it. I will tell you guys too, if you're a big fan of Rogue One, today 2 new Star Wars books come out. I think they're more young reader books. One is in a YA book about Jyn Erso's character growing up. Like, she got taken in by Saw Gerrera, and then we see her join the rebellion in Rogue One. This book takes place in between then. So I'm not sure if it's her time with Saw or right after Saw or whatever, but I'm excited to read it because I like the character as well. The other one coming out is called Guardians of the Whills, which is the 2 characters we saw join up at Jeddah. I forget their names. One of them's the blind guy, one of them's his friend. Mm-hmm. It's more about them as well too. So those are 2. If you're a fan of Rogue One or just a Star Wars fan in general, those 2 books tell more about the characters of Rogue One. I know Lisa planned on buying the audiobook for the Jyn Erso one.
Right.
And I'm definitely going to try to check out the Guardians of the Whills. So hopefully we'll
get them both, man. My sister's obsessed with
backstory. She's got. I think they were at Star Wars Celebration. They gave out free copies of both of those as a contest. And that's one thing I've learned. I think I told you this too. Is next Celebration I go to, I'm either I gotta dress up, or B, I gotta bring Nora to more panels. Because how they give away free stuff, I noticed, was either A, people who are in costume, or B, kids.
Yeah.
That's how you get the free stuff.
Your daughter outdressed you at the celebration.
Oh, dude, she was great. She was great as Rey, man. People loved it, and she had a good time. Like yesterday, we were sitting there at dinner, and we were flipping through pictures of her Star Wars Celebration, and she was loved. I tell you what, though, she's learning her Star Wars characters, man. She knows Boba Fett. She knows. She got a picture of Kylo Ren, so she knows Kylo Ren. She knows Darth Maul. Sabine.
She knows all the Sith.
I'm going to say she knows more Star Wars characters than you.
Oh,
because she knows the Rebels characters.
I'll take that
now.
challenge. Challenge accepted.
She knows the Rebels characters now. Is what it is. Yeah, so that knocks you out.
There's so much
right
backstory with the Rebels, man. That's what overwhelms me is how many characters are part of the rebellion.
Oh man, and that's what they're talking about.
Backstories, man.
That's why they're talking about taking a break from the episode films or the Skywalker saga because there's so much in this universe to tell. A lot of people are clamoring for a Knights of the Old Republic, actually. So Knights of the Old Republic, they had the video games that take place thousands of years before the events of, the Skywalkers or Episode 1 or whatever. People would love to see that in a trilogy form or even a TV series form because if you take that and give it a Game of Thrones style, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
You see the videos of people who take Game of Thrones sword fights and put them in lightsabers.
Yeah,
that's great. Exactly what it'd be
Knights
like.
Of the Old Republic,
exactly
man.
what it'd be like, man.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. So I'm one of the people I'd love to see that. But in any event, we got to move on because we got a lot more to talk about and we're running out of time. So moving off Star Wars, we got no other Harry Potter news, so we're gonna slip over to miscellaneous news, which there's quite a bit about, and we'll try to get through it as quickly as possible.
Man.
Okay, so according to the Hollywood Reporter, Jurassic Park alumni Jeff Goldblum is set to rejoin the franchise for Jurassic World 2. Now, Goldblum played Ian Malcolm in 1993's Jurassic Park and 1997's The Lost World. The film is set to bring back Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard to reprise their roles from the first film, and is going to be directed by J.A. Boyana, who directed the recent film A Monster Calls. I have that film from the library sitting here on my shelf. I have yet to watch it. I'm looking forward to it.
Monster Calls?
Yeah, Monster Calls. I heard it's really sad, too.
Oh, great.
So, of course, it's assumed at this point that Goldblum is going to reprise his role as Malcolm in this. You can next see Goldblum in this November's Marvel film Thor Ragnarok, where he will play the Grand Master, one of the Elders of the Universe. Jurassic World 2 is set to arrive June 22nd, 2018. So, Ian Malcolm, returning to the franchise. What do you think?
Jeff Goldblum, man. I love it, dude. I love it. Anything you bring back from the original Jurassic Park and you incorporate it in this new world, which this new world is awesome. I can't wait, man. I'm excited. I wonder if he's going to be as trendy Jeff Goldblum, or is he going to be
he's older, of course. So I think it's kind of like
Lost World.
You know how he was like in Jurassic Park. He was kind of eager, I guess, and full life. But in Lost World, he had been through all the events of Jurassic Park, so he was a little more cautious, a little more serious. I think that's what it's going to be like, where they're going to talk to him and be like, no, I've been through this twice. This is not a good idea.
You guys did it differently, eh? Y'all did it differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing I do like, again, it's going back to franchises with sucky movies where you can forget about them, is you can watch Jurassic Park and then go straight to Jurassic World and forget The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3 being my least favorite one. Lost World, not as much, but still not as good. I think really, again, you can just jump from one Jurassic Park to Jurassic World and you'd be fine with. Yeah. I like the idea of, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard coming back. Again, Chris Pratt helped make that film, in my opinion. Just his charisma and his presence on screen.
He gave it a new feeling, man. He really did. We hadn't had with that universe.
Oh, yeah. And they're young actors, too. So, they give it that vibrant, freshness, I guess you could say, to it all.
With Chris Pratt there, I feel like you don't need to add on, what's his name? Alan...
Grant.
Alan Grant.
Dr. Grant,
you don't need that character. In
No. I mean, you could talk about him and bring him back, and I'm sure, I would imagine that bringing in Goldblum's character, they're going to reference him, maybe a little bit, or at least reference the events of Jurassic World or even The Lost World.
Right.
But I don't think, you don't need to bring him back anymore. I'm very curious, again. I like Jurassic World. Lisa loved Jurassic World. And there are a lot of critics out there that, again, thought it should be a better quality film. Again, maybe too jokey, too many plot holes. Of course, there's a whole thing with Bryce Dallas Howard running from a T-Rex in heels. It's just ridiculous and stuff like that. But it's one of those films. It was a Jurassic Park film. I walked into it not expecting a whole lot. And I was entertained by it. Yeah. So, in my opinion, if that's what it does, some films you just got to be entertained and you got to accept that you're not going to have to think a whole lot.
Yeah.
But cool. Anything else on that?
Well, Jeff Goldblum, man, I'm excited to see him in more films.
He's coming
now.
back, man. He's
Yeah,
making
dude.
back. I mean, before Thor and this, I mean, the thing I recently saw him in was The League, where he played Ruxin's dad.
That was perfect. He looks like Ruxin looks like Jeff Goldblum.
He does. Well, no. Have you seen those episodes where he guest starred? Oh, it's great, man. Where like Ruxin does that thing. They had good Jeff Goldblum do that on the show too, and they did it together. It was hilarious. So, but yeah, a re-emergence of Jeff Goldblum, I think we can all say, is a good thing given how much he's present in sci-fi films. Although I guess we can't glaze over last year's Independence Day resurgence.
I'm glad that didn't murder his comeback.
Hopefully he does better in this than... I mean, from what I heard, of course, Goldblum wasn't the problem with that film. But in any event, him attaching himself to a film that I think has a lot going for it, such as Jurassic World 2, is only good.
Yeah.
Only good.
Can we talk about Thor?
Okay, go ahead. Talk about Thor. Grant, your guest star. I'm going to let you veer off here.
Well, I was reading that he's an elder.
He's an elder, yeah. So apparently he's related to the Collector from Guardians.
Okay.
Benicio del Toro's character.
I made that
So,
connection.
okay, while we're talking about it, it's a little off subject, but you haven't been here a while, so we can veer off. Based on the trailer, because we were actually at Star Wars Celebration when the Thor trailer came out, so we didn't even talk about it a lot. So, what did you think of that first teaser?
I screamed like a little girl when I first saw Hulk come onto the screen against Thor, and I thought it was hilarious. The running into his friend again, and just where they were at, and the whole situation looks so cool, dude. Like the colors, the universe that they were in. What world are they on? You know what I mean? Like,
they're on the Gladiator. So basically, you can see they're incorporating Planet Hulk with the Gladiator style and that as well. You can see so for me,
that's what I was getting excited for, was Planet Hulk.
For me, okay. I have my friend Jocelyn Griffey who lives in LA. He has his own podcast, The Long Back Sessions. And I always, I listen to these guys because they're usually very opposite opinion of what I am. Okay, they're very cynical and they hate Guardians. They hate Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Hate it. He thinks it's just a waste crap of a film. Okay.
Wow.
So when I saw the trailer for Thor Ragnarok, my first thought was, this is so much like Guardians of the Galaxy. Griffey's going to hate it. and
And I got that vibe, the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe.
The style of it, the way the trailer was cut, with the funny lines and the colors and stuff like that. It's
very trendy in a way.
Exactly, it's like trendy. I liked everything until the joke at the end. When he's like, he's a friend from work, which most people laughed at, and me, I'm like, come on, really? We're gonna make him sound like a dumb jock? Come on. It's just
He's already got
everything
that
until that point worked for me. Kate Blanchett as Hela looks awesome.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people thinking she's going to carry over to Avengers Infinity War because Hela has a strong connection with Thanos. So people are thinking she's going to cross over. But yeah, that I liked. I didn't like the joke at the end. Again, it goes back to what people criticize about the Marvel movies, the jokiness. They want to cut out some of that more. But to me, it's like, okay, I can get it to a point. There's some where it's too much, and some people are thinking that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 has a little too much of that. We'll have to wait and see about that on Thursday. But to me, take the Marvel Studio films versus what DC is doing. Marvel films are family films, much like Star Wars. So you got to have something for the whole family. Now, in doing that, trying to get that middle ground, you're going to, a lot of people are going to criticize it.
You're going to get some cheese there. You're going to get some cheese.
That's just what you get. But Marvel Studios is one that's laughing all the way to the box office. So, again, if they find something that works, that's what's going to be. I hope the fact that it's Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok is the Norse apocalypse, okay? So I don't think you can have all the jokiness, at least I hope not, in it. You can have your jokes, like every Marvel movie does, but when something is about the apocalypse of, mythology, let's not throw, too many slapstick jokes in there.
And now, I guess I never knew the meaning of Ragnarok, so knowing that now, that's genius marketing.
Yeah.
You bring in this Thor interaction with Hulk doesn't have to be the whole film. It probably will not be the whole film, but it does bring you immediate, attention.
Yeah, I think so too, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think given the fact that I wasn't a big fan of the last Thor film, this one I'm looking forward to a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, all right. Fair enough, course, a little guys. We're going to get back on track. This next story, I'm going to let Josh talk more because he's actually probably seen these movies more than I have. looks like M. Night Shyamalan is getting his own shared cinematic universe. His film Unbreakable and the new film Split, which I have yet to see, is going to be combined into one film called Glass. Now, Mr. Glass is the Samuel L. Jackson character from Unbreakable. Looks like he's going to be a little mastermind, taking the James McAvoy's character from Split, the Beast, I guess is called.
They call him the Horde.
The Horde, okay, the Horde in this one, and he's going to pin him against Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable.
Right.
Is what it is. So this one's called Glass. You got the two films coming together, shared cinematic universe by M. Night Shyamalan. There's no release date on it yet, but we'll see. It's kind of like another take on the superhero genre as far as that goes. So, I've only seen Unbreakable once. I liked it. I thought it was okay. I'll probably watch it again before this film comes out, and I'm definitely planning on seeing Split. You've seen Split. I know you've seen Unbreakable.
I own it now. I bought Split.
Okay, you bought it. Okay.
I bought it, yeah.
I'm going to borrow it from you, actually, then. So,
yeah,
definitely. In that instance, because I'm waiting for it from the library. But if you own it, I might just borrow it from you.
Well, I bought it on digital. So
okay, gotcha. It's not on DVD yet.
No.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, so what do you think about this idea? Given that you've seen more of these two movies than I have.
Man, well, first off, Split brings back this franchise to life. The movie did so well. The ending, what I read was that it was it's something he had planned on doing for a long time now. And when the film did so well, it just brought back so much life to this franchise. And I've been waiting for this piece of news, man. I honestly have been waiting for us to hear, okay, are they going to do a third one? Are they going to make a sequel and tie these guys together? And Unbreakable, in my opinion, it was a great movie, great character. I really got into his origin story. And then to put him up, and I love Split, and that's essentially what Split is an origin story for your villain.
Uh-huh.
So it's very important that you watch this film if you are going to see Glass. You have to at least know what's going on between these two characters and what background they come from, and they connect, obviously. But I find it interesting that they're going to title it Glass. So you got, of course, Samuel L. Jackson's character, Glass.
Uh-huh.
He was my least favorite part of the movie, was Glass, just because of, I wasn't really interested in his, I guess his special abilities.
Yeah.
I guess for the most
well,
part.
it was the fact that it was like, well, his whole thing was he was growing up, his bones were very brittle, so he got hurt very easily, and he thought, well, if I'm like that, there's got to be the opposite end where someone who is almost indestructible, which is Bruce Willis's character. Mm-hmm. So he found himself that to be the villain to bring out Bruce Willis's heroism. Is what it is.
And what's different about this universe is it's like you have a cause and effect. It's a very realistic scientific approach to superheroes. So that's such a great point. If you have one character who is Glass, you have to have the opposite. You have to have the anti.
And I think this movie's going to be about continuing that where he wants to propel Bruce Willis's character to be more heroic, to save more people. So that's why he's going to stick James McAvoy's character on him to again strengthen his noble, whatever powers, or make him more heroic, I guess.
Once you see Split, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but there is a likability to the Horde.
Uh-huh.
There's a character, those characters you can't help but care for and like and love when they're on screen. Especially McAvoy just nails the character.
I've heard he's awesome in that.
Yeah, he nails it, and it's just so entertaining to see him on screen. You never want to stop watching.
I know there were people who said he should have gotten some kind of Oscar nomination or something like that.
He should have.
I mean, I thought he should have gotten some kind of recognition for back in Days of Future Past. Yeah. To be honest. But this, I heard people really love his performance, and he's a great actor, so that's fine.
Didn't Gollum win an award?
No, I don't think
whole Split thing.
He won special effects, but the actual actor, what's his name, Andy Serkis, didn't win anything.
Okay, so he didn't win anything. But anyways, McAvoy. So what's going to be difficult for Shyamalan is going to be to have all three of these characters on one screen, and to add as much depth that you get from these individual films to these characters and still execute a great film, man. Yep. So I'm excited about the materials there. It's all set up. I just hope he doesn't screw it up.
All right, fair enough. I will say this too. I was looking at my notes. There is a release date for the film. January 18th, 2019 is when they're set to come out.
Great news,
so, sticking a little bit on Shyamalan. So, when he first came on the scene with Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, people were like, he's the next Spielberg, which is a total joke, in my opinion. But then he had a couple of dud films. The Last Airbender film, he gets so much crap about that.
It's so horrible.
Oh, yeah.
I think he got death threats.
It was horrible. So, but then he had, what's that one film? The Visit, I think is what it's called. And then he came back with this one, and now people are back on the Shyamalan train.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. Like, same thing happened with Ridley Scott, okay? He made a couple films like Gods and Monsters and stuff like that people weren't thrilled about. But then he goes and does The Martian with Matt Damon. Right. People loved it. And all of a sudden, he's got his Alien film, Alien Covenant, greenlit.
Yeah.
And it's all about, what have you done for me lately? So now that M. Night Shyamalan has, got some momentum going for him, people are going to move forward with that, and hopefully it works out for him.
I think this could be a great addition to. We already have the superheroes thanks to Marvel and DC. I think this could be a great addition to it. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Okay, moving on. So as I said, one of the anticipated films coming out next week is Alien Covenant, and following that, the Fox has released a prologue short for the film that is set to debut on May 19th. Now, in this prologue, we see what happened to Dr. Elizabeth Shaw and the synthetic android David, played by Michael Fassbender, after the events of Prometheus. Ridley Scott returns to direct the film Alien Covenant, and in this, when the synopsis for the film is that when they uncover a threat beyond their imagination, they must attempt a harrowing escape. Alien Covenant sees the crew of the colony ship Covenant, bound for a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy, discover what they think is uncharted paradise, but is actually a dark, dangerous world. Alien Covenant stars Michael Fassbender, Catherine Watterson, Billy Crudup, and Danny McBride, and like I said, opens on May 19th. So, with this little 2.5 minutes prologue, we see Michael Fassbender and Elizabeth Shaw. She's putting him back together because at the end of Prometheus, he was just a head. Give him a body. They're sailing to the engineer's whole world. She goes into hibernation so she can actually make it to the trip. He actually gets there and looks like is, seeing what it's all about, and that's where it ends. Filling in the gap a little bit, does this get you more excited for Alien Covenant?
It does.
Or do you feel like, because people, this is something on the internet, you don't want to have people have to watch this to understand Alien Covenant, but I think it helps. Much like, I read all the Star Wars comics and the books, so like when I went and saw Rogue One, I had already read Rogue One Catalyst that set up everything before that. So you don't have to, have read that to enjoy Rogue One. But I enjoyed Rogue One, especially the beginning of that, so much more because I had read Catalyst. I think it's the same thing.
Really? Okay.
Just this little 2-minute snip. You don't get a lot in it, but there are a couple things that kind of, one thing that stood out to me that I think is going to carry over to the film is the picture that Michael Fassbender drew of Elizabeth Shaw. I think we're going to see that picture in Alien Covenant because they're gonna have to tell a little backstory, of course, as to what happened to them to get to Alien Covenant or whatever. And I think in doing so, you're going to see that picture in there.
Yeah.
So, but overall, like it's 2.5 minutes. It's not that long. I don't think it delves into too much, but I think it's just a setup for backstory we're going to get in Alien Covenant.
It's a great clip. It's an exciting featurette there, and it shows you a little bit of their civilization, the engineers. So that's what had me intrigued, is I want to know more of what's going on with the engineers. I'm really intrigued by the engineers, so I'd like to know more about the story. This featurette made me want to watch Prometheus again.
I got it from the library.
And yeah, I'm excited for Covenant, man. I mean, I love that whole franchise. The Alien is always awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
I hope that we see something new. Yeah. And it's not just another, because every Alien trailer I've seen, it always seems like, okay, the alien gets on the ship, takes out the crew one by one.
I think of it much like these films, kind of like the Jurassic Park franchise,
Yeah.
I got so bored by the third film, like, they go there, they get chased by dinosaurs, some get eaten, show me something new. Jurassic World showed me something new. I just want Jurassic World 2 to show me something new. So same thing with the Alien franchise.
Right.
I've seen several movies now where the aliens hunt down these people, they kill them, etc., etc. Show me something a little different.
Right. And there's so much mythology there and so much backstory. I think why not dabble in it? And I find that the best part of it is the mythology behind it.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely cool. All right, so moving on. I'm going to skip a couple stories, and we got 2 more left. Hopefully, real quick ones. Universal Pictures has released a new promo and featurette for the upcoming Mummy film starring Tom Cruise. The synopsis is, quote, thoughts safely embodied in a crypt beneath the unforgiving desert, an ancient queen, played by Sophia Boutella, whose destiny was unjustly taken from her, is awakened in our current day, bringing her malevolence grown over millennia and terrors that defy human comprehension. The Mummy stars Tom Cruise, Annabelle Wallis, Jack Johnson, and Russell Crowe, and is directed by Alec Kurtzman. This is first to be the first film in a planned Universal Monsters cinematic universe, with plans for The Wolfman, The Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, and a Van Helsing film, all in various stages of development. So this film, the first trailer I saw for this film got me not interested. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. I think I was surprised with Jack Reacher, the first one. I watched the second Jack Reacher. Yeah. I haven't liked the Mission Impossible movie since the first Mission Impossible movie. Not a big fan of Tom Cruise. The more I see of this film, though, the more I want to see it, though, is what it is. And this featurette kind of highlighted more of what I want to see. What I realized is it's not Tom Cruise I'm excited about. It's Sophia Boutella.
Yeah.
This girl is an up-and-comer. She was in Kingsman. Was a standout in that. She was in Star Trek Beyond. She's up-and-coming. I think she's hot, too. So I'm excited to see her grow, and I want to see more what she does. So for me, I might actually go see this movie. When I first saw this trailer, I was like, no, I don't want to see this. But the more I see it, the more I think I want to see it. Plus the fact that it is kind of starting off that cinematic universe, allegedly. Universal tried to start it off with Dracula Untold. But that didn't pan out for them, so now they're restarting it again. I want to see how it goes with this. I mean, are you excited for this film at all?
I am. I can't help but compare it to Brendan Fraser's The Mummy.
Which I enjoyed that franchise.
And it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I didn't like the third film, but I liked Mummy and The Mummy Returns.
Right.
I'll stand by those two.
And they were fun. Both were, you're not going to see these films to see a realistic take on the Mummy.
Again, much like,
Jurassic
World.
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
kind
that.
of the theme. So I'm excited for this film because I believe it'll be entertaining. That featurette that we saw today had me really intrigued by the Mummy, who I didn't know much. All I knew about the film was it had Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah.
So, I think we should go see this movie just because of the Mummy alone, man. It's
Again,
a different take
Sophia
on her.
Boutella, like I said, she was in that new movie with Charlize Theron, Atomic Blonde, which they premiered in town here at South by Southwest. And there was that little racy scene of her and Charlize Theron,
That was her?
That was her.
Man.
So, yeah. I want to see that movie just for that scene alone.
she's hot, man.
Yeah, she's hot, and I think she's an up-and-comer. As long as she tunes her acting skills, I can see her going far.
Yeah, and man, the way they have her, it seems like she does a lot of her movement, a lot of her sequences herself. The girl just moves like a spider, man. She looks wicked looking.
And that'll get you far, really, I think, in this day and age.
Well, she looks very athletically built, too, as well, man. So I think she'd be fun and entertaining to watch as the Mummy.
Cool. All right, so we got one more story. We got a couple minutes left. Let's get through it as fast as possible. But first, I got to say one thing. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power! That's right, guys. I'm holding my He-Man sword to talk about this last story here. Sony has officially announced a release date for their Masters of the Universe film, landing December 18th, 2019. There was a film that was supposed to come out that day. It was maybe a Star Wars film that we had talked about previously, perhaps. But that's right. Sony has announced that this film is back, going to be released December 18th. Now, for a while now, director Mick G was set to direct the film. Guess what? As soon as they announced the release date, they announced that Mick G is no longer going to direct the film. So there's that. But with the release date now set, development is likely to pick up in regards. Now, it's previously said many years ago that Twilight actor Kellen Lutz was in talks for the role of He-Man, having teased a meeting with Mick G via Twitter. However, the director later clarified that they had yet to begin the casting process for the film. The reboot will lurk in the shadows of the 1980 film Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren and Courtney Cox. Of course, this is all based off the old cartoon and toy line Masters of the Universe, otherwise known as He-Man. Otherwise known as one of my favorite childhood cartoons. Definitely one of my top 5. Like growing up in the 80s, you had He-Man, Ninja Turtles, Voltron, Thundercats. So that's why I'm excited about this film. Josh, I know you're not
Before
quite in
my
that
time,
area before your
before my
time as
time.
well. Have you seen the original Masters of the Universe movie at all?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I remember briefly the cartoon. I think my dad's like
Okay.
really into it.
Oh yeah, I bet. So here's what you're gonna do. Okay, it's on YouTube. So here's what you're gonna do. You gotta watch the first half hour and the last half hour. That's all you need to watch. Because in the movie they go from the mystical land of Eternia to the real world where they meet Courtney Cox and they have adventures in the real world. I hate it when movies do that. Just stay in Eternia is what I hope they do for this film. But then at the end they return to Eternia as well. So I said you got the beginning and beginning and the end in Eternia. That's all you really need to watch. This is the best parts of the movie. You can skip the part where they're on Earth. Okay.
All right.
But you can go back actually and watch. Honestly, if I were to tell you to watch any He-Man, it's the 2002 version, which I hope they take a lot from.
Oh, that
I
was
think-
live action too, right?
No, this was
Okay.
they redid the animated series. It lasted for 2 seasons on Cartoon Network, and it's a much more modern adaptation. I believe we did the story a while ago where they talked about this. You were on the show, and I sent you a link to the first part of it, the first episode of it, which you probably never watched because there's a lot of stuff. Hold on one sec. Somebody's coming by and the dog is barking. Marcy! Shut it. Okay. Anyway, back to Masters of the Universe. Yes, check out. It's on Netflix, I think, too. The 2002 animated series. The first storyline, the beginning or the origins, is 3 parts. I want you to go home, watch those 3 parts. It's going to take you an hour to do that, okay? And tell me what you think of the Masters of the Universe film because I'm excited for it. Give me back my sword.
I got some
I have my
homework,
sword
apparently.
here. Yes,
Got some
exactly.
homework.
This plastic falling apart piece of styrofoam sword that looks exactly like the He-Man sword from the 1980s cartoon.
He-Man sword.
And I love it. I love it. It's a piece of crap, but I love it because I'm excited for the film because, again, it's one of my favorite animated films. Now, this thing about He-Man 2, it could totally spin off because you have the spin-off of She-Ra, the female version of that. It could totally, if they do it right. My only worry is about them doing it right. You got to have the right team, the right take on it. Christian Harloff from Collider Movies had a good thing that he's always said about it is He-Man doing it right is going to be a mixture of Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
What?
If you put that perfect, because
That'd be cool.
Because Eternia is this realm out in outer space where you have the evil Skeletor and you have trying to get the power of Grayskull, which is Castle Grayskull. You have the sorceress as well, and to kind of fight off Skeletor, she gives Prince Adam, who is this kind of spoiled Prince of Eternia, the power sword here, which she turns into He-Man. And of course, with great power comes great responsibility. He becomes a hero, all that stuff, you know. And it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. Totally excited they finally set a release date for this film. And if you want to talk about more about that, guys, hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Slim Dayspring 12, SLYM Dayspring 12. And that's going to be it, guys. We run a little over, but we even skipped a few things too. But I would like to thank Josh for coming in on this episode and filling in. Always great to have you, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
You need to fill in more.
Been a while, yeah.
Okay? Anytime Lisa that can't come in, we're going to have you fill in, okay?
I'm gonna just move at the house next to you right here.
Exactly.
And
There's a couple of houses down the road here that are for sale. You can do that. You can't move into this. Actually, my brother-in-law is actually probably going to move in for the summer because he needs a place to stay. So this room, the office here, is going to be his room for the summer, which would be fine. But yeah, man, I love talking about it. Anything else you want to talk? Oh, okay. We're going to run over, guys, but I guess got to get your thoughts. One thing, I always say I'm a big geek, but there are 2 things I'm not into, so I always try to bring other people in to talk about. One is Doctor Who, the other is Walking Dead. Josh, you're our Walking Dead guy. What'd you think of the last season of Walking Dead?
I didn't finish the last finale, to be honest with you. I'm a little disappointed.
Really?
That just shows you how uninterested I was. Sad to say, man, it kind of was. I love Negan. I thought
Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan did a great job. I still am gonna see the last. I'm 2 episodes behind, so I got the last finales there. It's dragging on, man. It's dragging on, and they're not making the waves that Game of Thrones is making.
Oh no! Well,
and I was reading how this last season finale dropped, like their viewers dropped.
yeah, the
like
viewers are dropping every episode. I heard.
They're dropping like flies, man. And unless they change something and immediately go back to, they got to go back to the source, the primal subject of the story, which is zombies, which is Walking Dead. It's become too much of a soap opera. Each episode is filled with drama, but drama that is between human and human, and it's just it's we have a lot of shows like that. So to be honest with you, I lost interest a little bit towards the end. Amber did as well. But Negan was great, man. Negan, but they weren't using enough of Negan, and they were almost like it was almost getting a little PG. You know, like the season started off so heavy, and with the deaths of of main characters, it started off so heavy. It's like they couldn't go back to that. They were like, okay, well, now we got to end on a lighthearted note. Now we had our dark ending here, our dark beginning. Now we got to make sure and close off this season. Which, mind you, it's not over yet. There's still another season of Negan. There's another season of more to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could tell they were not trying to. They were trying to win some people back by not going too dark. And I think they got to just forget that.
Yeah, they can't do that. Yeah.
They can't care about that stuff. They have to tell a story and continue to it. So.
One comparison I always make, of course, is because Game of Thrones and Walking Dead are always compared to each other because of their following. Game of Thrones, the creator said they have an ending. They've already announced the ending of it. Walking Dead, people are like, well, we have no ending. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You gotta know where you're going. You gotta know how it's gonna end. And I think that's one of the things too is they want to keep it going so they can just keep it going for the sake of making money and viewers and stuff like that.
And it's evident.
But you're gonna sacrifice story and you're gonna sacrifice viewers.
Yeah, it seems like almost like Walking Dead producers are really caught up on making money, caught up on not disappointing their fans. And bringing it to an end, and they have to.
And there's a fine middle between those two things, satisfying fans and making money. It's a fine line, and you got to find that middle spot. You can't put you can't put money over story is what I think it is, because I've said this before and I'll say it again. Just going back to Batman v Superman, I guarantee you if they were to release that ultimate cut of Batman v Superman with an extra 30 minutes, which improved the film vastly in my opinion, they would have hit $1 billion. But instead they didn't. They tried to sacrifice money to make more money to make the film shorter for the story.
Half an hour of footage, man. Half an hour of footage. That's all it was, right?
Half hour if there is. I love the ultimate cut. I hate the theatrical cut, and I stand by it. I always will. I think if they would have left that extra 30 minutes in there, the movie would have made a lot more money.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Cool. All right, so that's it. We got to end it, guys. Again, Josh, thanks for coming on. Where can the good people find you?
On Instagram. Same old I am Batman 24/7.
Cool. All right. So, guys, let us know what you thought. Are you excited as I am for the Masters of the Universe? What do you think of Young Justice? What do you think of Star Wars release date? Let us know. Dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Hit us up on the Facebook group or on Twitter. And that's going to be it, guys. So, until next time, in the Force be with us all.